Hey guys, I'm Carlos Clemens, and tonight we're going to the movies. This is The Hollywood View. Hey everyone, welcome to the Hollywood View's summer movie special. Tonight I'm going to give you some sneak peeks into this summer's biggest Hollywood films. So let's get started. One of the films that is sure to get everyone's blood pumping is Pain and Gain, the new action comedy directed by Michael Bay and starring Mark Wahlberg, Dwayne Johnson, and Anthony Mackie. Is based on the true story of three personal trainers in the 90s who are on the pursuit of the American dream and get caught up in a criminal enterprise including kidnapping, extortion, and murder that goes horribly wrong. Let's take a look.
Don't you think you deserve better? 'Cause I do.
Mr. Doble, are you currently using steroids?
I think they messed me up.
Took a lot of balls to come in here.
More like raisinets.
At least yours are chocolate-covered raisinets. Hey. Oh, sorry.
We're being kept down by people who cheated to get where they are. And I got a plan to change that.
You can't kidnap a guy and take his things.
Sure we can. Victor Kershaw is a criminal who deserved bad to happen to him.
We go through with this, nobody gets hurt, right?
Oh, man, I watched a lot of movies, Paul. I know what I'm doing.
We're looking for merchandise to shock, incapacitate, and imprison our fellow man.
Hit me!
That's something to see. I'll definitely be checking that out when it hits theaters on April 26th. So now let's switch some gears here to a more futuristic movie. Oblivion, starring Tom Cruise, is set on a future Earth which has evolved beyond recognition. The story of a man, Jack Harper, and a confrontation with the past will lead him on a journey of redemption and discovery as he battles to save mankind on an Earth that has evolved beyond recognition. Let's take a look.
60 years ago, Earth was attacked. We won the war, but they destroyed half the planet. Everyone's been evacuated. Nothing human remains. We're here for drone repair with a mop-up crew.
This is Jack Harper.
I'm good to go.
2 more weeks, Jack, and we can finally leave and join the others. Don't take any chances.
With stars such as Tom Cruise and Morgan Freeman, how can you not go see it? And speaking of Morgan Freeman, he also has another movie coming out titled Now You See Me, which opens May 31st. In this film, directed by Louis Leterrier, starring Morgan Freeman, Jesse Eisenberg, Mark Ruffalo, and Woody Harrelson, just to name a few, centers on FBI agents on their track to catch a team of illusionists who pull off bank heists during their performances and then reward audience members who see their show with the money. Now that sounds interesting. Let's take a look.
Your bank was the distraction while they set up the real trick.
I was $140 million distraction.
Who doesn't love a good magic trick?
FBI! Hands where I can see them.
I don't think I heard you correctly. Did you say magicians robbed the bank?
You're going to be played.
You have what we in the business like to call nothing up your sleeve. Because if you did, it means that you and the FBI and your friends at Interpol actually believe in magic. First rule of magic, always be the smartest guy in the room.
1, 2, 3, and... Want to know how they did it? Say the magic word.
A year ago, these guys were a bunch of street magicians.
Now they're pulling off amazing robberies and not keeping a single cent for themselves.
You do realize this is a game played out on a global scale. Vegas was just a start. This trick was designed a long time ago.
We are dealing with something far bigger than us.
We're all here for the same reason.
We cannot quit now. Expose them now and destroy them.
Whatever is about to follow, whatever this grand trick is, really going to amaze. Look closely, because the closer you think you are.
Well, I want to be a part of that audience. I sure could use some of that money for a nice vacation. And speaking of vacations, The Hangover Part 3 will also hit theaters this summer on May 24th. The film, directed by Todd Phillips, is a little different this time. There's no wedding and no bachelor party. So what could go wrong? Well, when the wolf pack hits the road, all bets are off. Let's take a look at the third and final installment of this trilogy.
My God, it's got the voice of an angel. It's breathtaking.
I told myself I would never come back.
Don't worry, it all ends tonight.
Someone needs to burn this place to the ground.
Woo! I like that.
Can you remember me? I'm the one that picked the object. Lisa, can you remember me? I'm the one that picked the object.
We've been on a lot of adventures together, but it seems like you haven't learned anything. Anything. I'll be in the limo.
Well, there's a movie I will be checking out this summer, and it's The Hangover 3. And when we come back, please stay tuned, because we're going to be talking about superheroes and how they're flying our way. Welcome back, I'm Carlos Clemens, and you're watching the Hollywood Views Summer Movie Special. One thing that seems to be trending this summer at the movies are superheroes, and one of the movies getting a lot of attention is Man of Steel. A reboot of the Superman franchise directed by Zack Snyder seems to have many variations of the plot out there in the media. And what we do know is that a child is sent to Earth from a dying planet and is adopted by a couple in rural Kansas. Posting as a journalist, he then uses his extraordinary powers to protect his new home from an insidious evil. Let's take a look.
What if a child dreamed of becoming something other than what society had intended? What if a child aspired to something greater?
My son was in the bus. He saw what Clark did.
You're the answer, son. You're the answer to Are We Alone in the Universe?
Can I just keep pretending I'm your son?
You are my son. And I have to believe that you were sent here for a reason. And even if it takes the rest of your life, you owe it to yourself to find out what that reason is.
How do you find someone who has spent a lifetime covering his tracks? For some, he was a guardian angel. For others, a ghost who never quite fit in.
You will give the people of Earth an ideal to strive towards. They will race behind you. They will stumble. They will fall. But in time, they will join you in the sun. In time, you will help them accomplish wonders.
Well, Superman never disappoints, and it's no doubt that Henry Cavill, Kevin Costner, Diane Lane, and Amy Adams, just to name a few, will light up the screen this summer when the film hits theaters June 14th. And another film surrounding a famous superhero hitting theaters around the world this summer is Iron Man 3. In Marvel's Iron Man 3, directed by Shane Black and starring Robert Downey Jr., Don Cheadle, Ben Kingsley, and Gwyneth Paltrow, Tony Stark, also known as Iron Man, finds his world reduced to rubble by a malevolent enemy and must use his ingenuity and instincts to protect those closest to him as he seeks to destroy the enemy and his cohorts. Let's take a look.
Ladies, children, sheep. Some people call me a terrorist. I consider myself a teacher. Lesson number 1. Heroes. There is no such thing.
On another note, someone who may not quite be a superhero as much as he's a mutant is the Wolverine. Directed by James Mangold and based on the celebrated comic book, this epic action/adventure takes Wolverine, played by Oscar-nominated actor Hugh Jackman, who is undeniably the most iconic character of the X-Men universe, to modern-day Japan. Out of his depths in an unknown world, he will face a host of unexpected and deadly opponents in a life-or-death battle that will leave him forever changed. Let's take a look.
It's an honor to meet the Wolverine.
That's not who I am anymore.
I didn't send for you only to thank you, Logan. I wanted to repay you. A gift to equal the life you gave me. You have struggled long enough. Our company can do anything. I can make you mortal.
Not healing it before. What the hell is happening?
Well, with that kind of action, who doesn't want to go see this film? I know I can't wait for July 26th when it hits theaters. And with that, we must take a break, but coming up, we take a look at some of the animated films that no matter what age you are, you know you want to see. So stay with us. Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me. I'm Carlos, and this is the Hollywood View. Now, no summer is ever complete without some animated movies coming out, and this year is no exception. It seems to be sequel year because Despicable Me 2 is hitting theaters July 3rd. Now, while no full story plot has been released from the studio, this new sequel, following the very popular Despicable Me, features the return of supervillain Gru, voiced by Steve Carell, as well as the very animated and adorable Minions. Now, the second installment of this very popular film will also feature a new villain, El Macho, voiced by Al Pacino, and a whole new slew of brand new characters. Let's check it out.
Good night, Edith. Good night, Margot. Whoa, hold the horses. Who are you texting?
My friend Avery.
Avery. Avery. Is it a girl's name or a boy's name?
Does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter unless it's a boy.
I know what makes you a boy.
Who you do?
Your bald head.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes I stare at it and imagine a little chick popping out. Beep, beep, beep.
Good night, Agnes. Never get older.
Mr. Gru, Agent Lucy Wilde of the Anti-Villain League.
You're gonna have to come with me.
Oh, sorry,
You know, you really should announce your weapons after you fire them. For example, lipstick taser! Get in there!
This looks like on top of me, so everybody just follow me, cause we need a little controversy, cause it feels so empty without me.
Anti-Villain League, dedicated to fighting crime on a global scale. A new villain has surfaced. You know how a villain thinks. That's why we brought you here.
Pins and needles.
I am the League's director, Silas Ramsbottom.
Bottom.
Hilarious.
Guess who's back?
Are you really gonna save the world?
That's right, baby. Crew's back in the game with cool cars, gadgets,
How are they working?
and weapons.
I still laugh every time I see this trailer. I can't wait to check it out. So make sure when it hits theaters on July 3rd, you go see Despicable Me 2. Now, another film hitting theaters this summer following the success of their first installment, Monsters, Inc., is Monsters University. While not much information has been released about the plot of this all-new prequel to the Disney Pixar classic, what we do know is that Monsters University unlocks the door to how Mike and Sully overcame their differences and became the best of friends. Let's take a look.
Scariness is the true measure of a monster. At Monsters University, it's my job to make great students great scarers.
Imagine an education where I
can be unique.
in a family of thousands, where I can love to learn.
And learn what I love.
Open the door to your future and become the student you were meant to be.
Welcome to the debate team.
I'm a dance major. Come join the improv club.
Your future is knocking. Open the door. Monsters University.
How can I apply is the question. Sometimes I wish I was Monsters because that seems way too much fun. But let's take a break because when we come back, I'm going to show you some of the movies I believe will be huge award contenders next year. So stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Carlos Clemens and you're watching the Hollywood Views Must-Watch Summer Movie Special. Now, no summer could be complete without some massive big-budget films that are sure to be award-worthy contenders at next year's Oscars or MTV Movie Awards. One of those films is The Great Gatsby. This super expensive retelling of Scott Fitzgerald's great American novel is primed to be one of the star attractions this summer, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Carey Mulligan, and Tobey Maguire. The basic plot of the film involves would-be writer Nick Carraway as he leaves the Midwest and comes to New York City in the spring of 1922, an era of loosening morals, glittering jazz, and bootleg kings. As Nick bear witnesses the world he inhabits, he pens a tale of impossible love, incorruptible dreams, and high-octane tragedy, and holds a mirror to our own modern times and struggles. Let's take a look.
Mr. Gatsby,
I'd like to know. Exactly who are you, anyhow? Can't you see who this guy is? With his house, his parties, and his fancy clothes. We were born different from you.
It's in our blood. Nothing that you do or dream up can ever change that.
Gatsby. He had a grand vision for his life since he was a boy.
I'm gonna fix things just the way they were before.
Just you and me. No amount of fire could challenge the fairy tale he had stored up in his heart.
Will you still love me when I'm no longer young and beautiful?
Is all this made entirely from your own imagination?
When I got nothing,
But I had the uneasy feeling that he was guarding secrets.
I know you will.
I wish I'd done everything on Earth with you.
I don't want to go.
And don't.
Last green light in my eyes, and my love on my mind, and I sing from the piano.
It had gone beyond her. It had gone beyond everything.
Something ought to be done about a fella like that. My life has got to be like this. It's got to keep going on.
This film proves to be Oscar worthy in my opinion, so make sure you check it out when it hits theaters May 10th. Now, if you're feeling like the movie theater is not quite for you this summer, there are some great movies hitting shelves. Some include Lincoln, starring Daniel Day-Lewis, Les Mis, starring Anne Hathaway, which I will leave you guys watching before we go, and Silver Linings Playbook, starring Jennifer Lawrence, all Academy Award winners from this year. And with that said, this concludes our show for tonight. Thanks for watching the Hollywood Views Summer Movie Special. I was Carlos. Until next time.
I dreamed a dream in time gone by, when hope was high, life worth living. I dreamed that love would never die. I dreamed that God would be forgiving. But the tigers come at night, with their voices soft as thunder.